A lawmaker is pushing for a nationwide soil test-based fertilization program. Agusan del Sur Representative Bong Plaza says the country might waste billions of pesos yearly if it does not conduct nationwide soil testing. He joins us now on The Final Word. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. So why is there a need for a nationwide soil test-based fertilization?
Good evening, Rico. No? In the first place, we are already year 2022. And I think the best way for our approach in terms of agriculture is to be science-based. And the only way for us to do this, to achieve a better fertilization program, really, is to test our soils through a modern and more efficient laboratory for our soils to be tested.
So, Congressman, are you saying that the current practice of government-sponsored fertilizer program is flawed?
Yes, in a way it's flawed because most of the time we're just using rapid test kits for soils. And the problem with rapid test kits is just sometimes it overestimates or it underestimates the nutrients that is available in the soil. So the tendency is we really cannot achieve our potential yield because we don't know the what's this? How do you call this? We don't know the health of the soil because of lack of soil testing in our specific areas. Because each municipality or each province usually have different soils nutrients or deficiency in our soils, or efficiency, I should say, in our soil. So this needs to be tested so that government, and most especially the Department of Agriculture, would really know the specific kind of fertilizer that would be given to our farmers.
So Kong Eddie Bong, I'd just like to jump in, no? I'd like to jump in here. So with this flawed government system, how much is being lost and wasted without soil testing?
Well, usually what happens is really we are not attacking the problem properly if we don't do soil testing. Let's give an example, Rico. No? Just like a human being, when we go to a doctor because we're sick, the first thing the doctor is going to give us is really to do a blood test. And after the blood test, the doctor will advise us that there's something wrong with our sugar, there's something wrong with our cholesterol, so that the doctors can give the specific medicines that the human being needs. So it works the same with soil. In soil testing, usually we only do the NPK, which is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So it is a macro way of looking at things. But there are a lot of micronutrients that needs to be checked also so that we can address fertilization in that particular soil or particular area, what type of fertilizer we are going to give to the farmers. So what happens is, in this way, government will be able to save in terms of the type of fertilizer that is going to be given to the specific farmers in that specific areas. So compared to other areas, definitely it's going to be a different situation if we find out what's the deficiency of the soil in that particular area.
Indeed, Kong Eddie Bong, no, this is a very scientific way of tackling the problem. But the big question here is right now, does the government have the budget? Have they not implemented this because of the budget for soil test-based fertilization?
It is my advocacy right now because I checked the budget of the Department of Agriculture, most specifically the Bureau of Soils and Water Management. This is the bureau that is in charge of our soil management in our country. And I was not able to see any specific budget or line item budget for us to update our soil slab in the country.
Yeah.
So we have soil slab in our regions, 16 regions. But the problem is it is already outdated and it needs to be retrofitted and it needs to be updated. That's why I'm
So,
pushing for this because I was a governor for 15 years
right.
and my province is an agricultural province. So I learned a lot from my agriculturists and also to my friends who are soil experts, most especially that Agusan del Sur is a beneficiary or we got a
Yeah.
grant from House Aid, or I should say
So,
specifically
Kong Eddie Bong,
Australian Center Agricultural Institute, Research Institute.
all right.
So dahil dito, no, uh, we are getting samples. We are actually doing some samples right now, getting some samples.
Yeah.
And what's funny about this is we're sending it to Australia for it to be tested in their labs in Australia.
So,
So it could have been cheaper, or our country could have saved a lot, or my province could have saved a lot, if we have the necessary tool or the laboratories here in our country or
right.
in a regional level.
So, you've already started this soil testing in Agusan del Sur. When are you going to be getting the results?
By end of this year, we'll be getting the results from Australia, and we'll be able to know what type of fruit or what type of uh, plants we have to put up in the upland areas, because we are targeting the upland areas in Agusan del Sur, because based in our community-based monitoring system, or I should say CBMS, which is called by our Department of Interior and local government, is really the highest poverty incidence in our province are in the upland areas.
So, Kong Eddie Bong,
But also in the low.
Kong Eddie Bong, I'd just
Yes.
like to jump in again, no, because we have to end this interview in about 30 seconds. Is there a sample country or a city that has already implemented the soil test-based fertilization initiative and has been successful in their agricultural produce? What could be
Yes.
an example?
One is USA is doing this. Two is the European countries are also doing this. In Asia, Thailand is doing this. We just arrived from Thailand. And India and China in particular are also doing the same. And if I'm not mistaken, also Vietnam is doing the same. But us here in the Philippines, we're able to really, we need to really do a scientific approach in terms of our approach to agriculture for our food security in our country.
So, are you going to push for this initiative in the upcoming budget? And how much are you proposing?
My proposal is for soil testing labs is about 1,060,000,000 pesos for 16 regional soil lab, and these are really state of the art type of soil lab already, Rico.
Thank you so much for sharing with us this nationwide soil test-based fertilization initiative. Agusan del Sur Representative Eddie Bong Plaza.